He found Voyan in one of the meditation cells, carefully ministering to his war gear. The apothecary bowed slightly to him. Garrow noted immediately that Voyan's robes were the plain, unadorned clothes of a citizen petitioner, not the duty mantle of an Astartes. The sewn patterns of the two-headed Aquila and the skull and star of the Death Guard were absent. "Merrick?" he asked. "We prepare to leave, and yet you have kept yourself isolated from us. What's wrong?" Voyan halted and glanced at his commander. Garrow saw something new there, a kind of defeat, a melancholy that was etching into the lines of his face. "Nathaniel," he began, "I have read the tracts you gave me, and I feel as if my eyes have been opened." Garrow smiled. "That's good, brother. We can draw strength from them. Hear me out. You might disagree." The battle captain hesitated. "Go on." "I have kept this from you, from all of the others. What happened at Istvan, what Horus and Mortarion did, and then Grulgor and Decius." He took a shuddering breath. "To my very core, brother, these things shook me." Voyan looked at his hands. "I found myself frozen, my weapons useless." "My weapons useless?" His eyes met Garrow's, and there was fear there, true terror. "It broke me, Nathaniel. These things, I fear I may be a part of them. Responsible." "Merrick, no." "Yes, brother, yes," he insisted. Voyan pressed something into his palm, and Garrow studied it. A bronze disc, embossed with a star and skull symbol, crushed and twisted. "I must atone for my dalliance with the lodges, Nathaniel. The Lectitio Divinitatis has shown me that. You had me promise that if the lodge ever compelled me to turn from the Emperor, I would reject them, and so I do. The lodges were part of all this. You were right to shun them." He looked away. "And I was so very wrong to join them." The leaden certainty in his voice told Garrow that no argument would shift his brother from this path. "What will you do?" Voyan indicated his war gear. "I relinquish my honor as an Astartes and warrior of the 14th Legion. I have had my fill of death and treachery. My service from this point on will be to the Apothecaria Majoris of Terra. I have decided to dedicate the rest of my life to search for a cure for the malady that claimed Decius and the others. If Grulgor did not lie, then that horror may already be spreading among our kinsmen, and I must hold true to my oath as a healer above and beyond my oath as a Death Guard." Garrow studied his friend for a long moment, then extended a hand to him. "Very well, Merrick. I hope you will find victory in this new battle." Voyan shook his hand. "And I hope you will find victory in yours." Merrick Voyan served as an apothecary of the Death Guard Legion during the Great Crusade and Horus Heresy. A member of Battle Captain Nathaniel Garrow's 7th Grade Company, Merrick tended to the wounds of his kindred, not only in terms of physical wounds, but also mental scars. A confidant of his indomitable battle captain for many years of service, despite his senior officer's condemnation, Merrick joined the secretive warrior lodge of his kinsmen, with the intent of bolstering camaraderie and free thinking among the 14th's ranks. Swearing to uphold his oath to his battle captain that he would never keep secrets from him despite his membership, Merrick, though dealing a blow to his commander's bonds of trust, would in time redeem himself in the eyes of Straight Arrow Garrow. Accompanying his great company during their cooperative mission alongside the Emperor's Children First Company in quelling a rebellion upon Istvan extremists, during combat against a fell warsinger, Garrow sustained injuries to his leg, arm and torso. His wounds staunched by Chief Apothecary Fabius Bile, much to the disdain of Merrick. The battle captain was ordered to recover aboard the Imperial frigate Eisenstein, deemed unfit for battlefield operations. The War Master, Horus Lupercal, by this time enthralled to the ruinous powers. Garrow's concerns of the Lodge's nature, as a means to spread dangerous propaganda, was proven true. The schemes of the traitors within their midst, enacted during the betrayal of Istvan III. Aiding Garrow's housecarl, Caleb Aaron, in his investigation of the actions of Commander Ignatius Grulgor, the duo uncovered Death Guard personnel arming virus bombs to be unleashed upon the surface. Confronted by Grulgor, as Caleb brought word to Garrow, brother fought brother as the plots of the traitors was revealed. The noble housecarl sacrificing his life to save Garrow, Voyan, and Brother Sendek's life, as a virus bomb warhead threatened to infect all with its deadly payload. Grulgor and his command cadre destroyed by the Life Eater virus. The 70 survivors comprised of Death Guard loyalists and the Lunar Wolves refugees of a Yaktan cruise, Kirill Sinderman, Mercedes Olaton, and Euphrates Keeler. Fending off the resurrected Ignatius Grulgor and his men as the Eisenstein ventured to Holy Terror via the warp. Despite Voyan's protestation, the crew of the Eisenstein detonated their ship's warp drive, banishing the Plague Marines from real space at the cost of the infection of Brother Solon Decius and their stranding within the void. Rescued by Primarch Rogel Dawn aboard his flagship, the Phalanx, begrudgingly, the Praetorian of Terror accepted the news of his brother's betrayal of the Imperium and made all haste to inform the Master of Mankind, personally. Imprisoned within the Somnus Citadel of Luna, under the watchful eye of the Silent Sisterhood, Voyan and Garrow would be released as the spread of Nurgle's rot within Solon Decius turned his form into the greater demon known as the Lord of Flies. Nathaniel Garrow banishing the entity as they dueled upon the airless plains of Luna. Following the destruction wrought by the entity, Voyan declared his intentions to renounce his oaths as a warrior. Giving Merrick the copy of the Lectitio Divinitatis, which had once belonged to Caleb Aaron, Nathaniel hoped such text to inspire his crestfallen kinsman to find significance through faith, as he himself had found in his praise to the Emperor. Dedicating his life solely as a healer, issuing his armor henceforth, as he sought to never again fight as an angel of death, Voyan sought to find a cure to aid his afflicted legion, using his expertise as an apothecary. Garrow, perceiving Merrick's adherence to clinical logic to be a failing in a galaxy rent by supernatural horrors, Nathaniel decried his attempts to concoct an antidote to their kinsmen, knowing in his heart that no cure could be found for the affliction of their corrupted souls. Intending to take the remains of the Lord of Flies to the facility of the Jovian installation upon the moon of Io, knowing himself to be functionally immortal, Merrick could not stand idle as a remnant of a tarnished legion with no purpose. The containment of the samples taken of Solon Decius's body breached during Garrow's visit despite the chamber being hermetically sealed. The powers of the warp dashed Merrick's hopes as the metallic cylinders unleashed carnivorous flies. All remnants taken from Solus and Grulgor cleansed, with no means for Merrick to concoct a cure for his legion. Voyan felt an insect bite in the form of a trio of tiny saws, as voices of an unknown entity whispered in his ears. His skin blistering into lesions as Garrow readied to fell his infected friend, Merrick perished at the hands of his battle captain, yet the Plague God would not grant Voyan the sanctity of death. The Lord of Flies possessing Merrick's body upon Terra prior to the devastating siege. Nathaniel Garrow, fueled by the defilement of his friend's memory, was taunted by the demon that he allowed him to become its vessel. Unable to destroy the entity, as it reformed from every strike of Libertas or mass reactive bolter shell which tore its fetid flesh asunder, only with aid from Malcador the Sigillite's incredible psychic might was the Lord of Flies drowned in the psychic flame of a miniature star. The husk of Merrick Voyan finally laid to rest as the Horus Heresy drew to a close. His legacy as a compassionate healer is for many hard to believe that such a soul was capable of being sired from the ranks of the Death Guard Legion.